It was just another normal Friday night, and I was sitting in my room, minding my own business, when I decided to check my Snapchat. I had just finished watching a horror movie with my friends, so I was in the mood for something creepy. So I scrolled through my friends list, and I noticed that my crush, Emily, was online. I sent her a quick message, asking her if she wanted to add me on a secret Snapchat group that me and some of my other friends had created. To my surprise, she agreed almost immediately. I added her to the group, and within minutes, the other girls in the group started to send her snaps of themselves doing silly dances and making faces. It was all harmless fun, until I received a strange snap from one of the other girls in the group. It was a photo of an old abandoned house in the middle of the woods, with a message that simply read, "Come to this house at midnight tonight, if you dare." I was instantly freaked out, but I didn't want to show it. I quickly snapped back a reply, telling her that it was a joke, and we're all having fun. But as minutes ticked by, I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. The house of the photo looked eerily familiar, and I couldn't help but wonder if I was the same house that my friends and I had explored when we were younger. At exactly midnight, my phone started vibrating like crazy. I had received a bunch of snaps from other girls in the group, all of them showing up at the house. They were laughing and taking selfies, not realizing that they were being watched. I couldn't help but feel a chill run down my spine as I snapped back a reply, telling them to be careful. As the night wore on, the snaps got creepier. Emily sent a photo of a bloodstain on the floor, while another girl snapped a picture of what looked like a broken window. I tried to convince them to leave, but they were having too much fun. Finally, I got a snap from Emily that made my blood run cold. It was a picture of her surrounded by candles, wearing a long black dress. Her eyes were empty and her mouth was twisted with a grin. The caption simply read, "Join us." I was terrified, but I couldn't bring myself to ignore her. I snapped back a reply, telling her that I was coming, but to be careful. I grabbed my keys and hurriedly drove to the old house, my heart racing the entire way. When I arrived, I saw Emily and the others standing in the yard, their faces illuminated by the flickering candlelight. They beckoned me forward, and I couldn't help but feel drawn to them. As I stepped closer, I noticed that the house seemed to be changing before my eyes. The broken window had been fixed, and the bloodstain was gone. The overgrown lawn was trimmed, and the candles lined the walkway leading to the front door. I hesitated for a moment, but Emily took my hand and led me inside. The inside of the house was just immaculate as the outside. Every room was perfectly clean and decorated with elaborate candelabras with fresh flowers. It was almost as if someone had been living here all along. Emily guided me down a long, winding hallway, the sound of our footsteps echoing eerily over the walls. At the end of the hall, she stopped and turned to face me. "Welcome," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the pounding of my heart. "You're finally here." Before I could respond, she reached out and touched my cheek, her fingers cold and trembling. "I have been waiting for you." Her touch sent a shiver down my spine, and I felt as if I were about to lose control of my own body. "What do you want from me?" I managed to choke out. "What's going on?" Emily smiled sadly and shook her head. You don't understand, Tim, she'd said softly. You never did. This was always meant to be. And with that, she leaned in closer, her lips pressing against mine. As her tongue slipped past my lips, I felt myself to lose consciousness, falling deeper and deeper into the darkness. When I come to, I found myself lying on the cold, hard ground. My head ached and my mouth tasted foul. I struggled to sit up, wincing as pain shot through my body. As my vision cleared, I saw Emily and the others standing over me, their faces twisted into cruel smiles. Welcome back, Emily crooned. We were beginning to wonder if you ever wake up. I scattered to my feet, instinctively backing away from them. What do you want from me? I cried. Why are you doing this? Emily laughed, a cold, mocking sound. You should know better than ask questions, she said. Just accept your fate and join us. As she spoke, the others circled around me, their eyes burning with an unholy light. I tried to run, but my legs felt like jelly. I could feel their hands closing in onto me, pulling me back towards them, and I knew there was no escape. With a final, desperate scream, I surrendered to the darkness, only to awaken, gasping for breath in my own bed. Sunlight streamed through the window, and the familiar sounds of my parents' urging drifted up from downstairs. At first, I thought it all had been a horrible nightmare. But as I sat up and examined myself in the mirror, I knew the truth. My heart ached, and my hands trembled as I ran over them my body, searching any signs of harm. Everything seems to be in place. But Emily's words haunted me. They echoed in my mind, refusing to be silenced. I knew that she was somewhere out there, and that she will only find me again. And when she did, I wouldn't be able to escape her grasp a second time. The only thing I could do now was to try to forget about the old house and the strange events that had taken place there. To prevent that it was all just a bad dream.